Chapter 8: What could go wrong? I want to spend some time here, because in 2026, this company did 3 things that most observers filed as minor housekeeping, and which I think are actually the story. First, in May, HeyMax announced it was killing a program called Cash for Miles, and with it, removing 17 transfer partners: Air Canada, Alaska, American Airlines, Avianca, British Airways, Emirates, Etihad, Qantas, Thai, Turkish, United, Virgin Australia, and on the hotel side, Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt. The stated reason was that it had become unsustainable, and they were specific about why. Partners were charging premium rates to buy their points, American Airlines at 3.5 US cents a mile, and the fulfillment process involved issuing virtual debit cards, and for some partners, making phone calls. Second, in June, HeyMax announced it was cutting the transfer rate to Accor hotels from 1-to-1 down to 3-to-2. That's a 33% devaluation. Members had been getting roughly 2.95 cents of value per max mile through Accor. Now they get about 1.97. The Mile Lion, which is the most authoritative independent voice in this market, read it plainly. HeyMax had seen a surge in Accor redemptions at volumes it couldn't sustain, and was metering the flow by cutting the rate. They gave 8 days' notice. Third, in July, they launched HeyMax First, selling miles forward at 2.3 to 3 cents each. Now put those 3 together, cut the expensive redemption routes, devalue the most generous one, and start selling miles forward at 2.3 cents and up. That is not 3 unrelated events. That's one event. HeyMax discovered that its real cost per redeemed mile is meaningfully higher than the 1.8 cents the market had anchored on, and it is closing the gap from both directions. Which is, honestly, the correct thing to do. It's what a well-run program does. But it establishes a pattern, and the pattern is, HeyMax's promise of stable value is discretionary, and it has now exercised that discretion 3 times in 12 months. Which leads me to what I think is the single most fixable problem in this entire company. HeyMax markets max miles with the line, "Miles never expire." It's on the App Store listing, it's on the website, it's in every review. Now let me read you Clause 4 of HeyMax's own terms of use. Quote, HeyMax reserves the right to remove a user, including the full balance in a user's account, where HeyMax determines that a user has not used the services for any consecutive period of 12 months or longer. And Clause 7 reserves the right to, quote, add or change the duration taken for max miles to expire. And Clause 6, this is the important one legally, says you gain no proprietary right, the miles are not held on trust, and your entitlement is limited to contractual rights of repayment, which, incidentally, is exactly the drafting that keeps HeyMax outside Singapore's Payment Services Act as limited-purpose e-money. It's also what makes members unsecured creditors if anything ever goes wrong. Now, none of these clauses are unusual. Every loyalty program on Earth has equivalents, but HeyMax's entire differentiation is being the ** loyalty program, the one that doesn't devalue, doesn't expire, doesn't play games. Its stated company value is transparency, and its own words are, quote, our team and users can rely on us to deliver exactly what we promise. Having a specific, unqualified marketing claim that your own terms explicitly contradict is a reputational fuse. It's entirely self-inflicted, and it is entirely fixable in an afternoon. Either qualify the claim or amend the clause. I'd rank that as the highest return on effort action available to this company right now. Let me give you the rest of the risk register quickly, in rough order of how much I'd worry. Number 1 is the liability crystallizing faster than modeled. Every 10 percentage points that the redemption rate rises costs about $600,000 a year at current issuance. And that rate is currently sitting at an artificially low 10% because the program is young. it has nowhere to go but up. Number 2 is a trust event. Max Miles has value because people believe it will have value, and that belief is maintained by a small, well-informed, extremely vocal community that publishes an analysis of every single change. 3 devaluations in 12 months is about the outer edge of what that community will absorb. A fourth, especially one that touched the 1.8-cent fly-anywhere floor, would be qualitatively different because the floor is the credibility. Number 3 is Shopback, or anyone with capital launching a transferable miles currency. HeyMax's defense right now is essentially they haven't yet. That needs to become they can't because we have the airline contracts. Then further down, the B2B business stalling and leaving HeyMax stuck as an affiliate company with a low multiple. Airline point prices inflating with no hedge. Cookie deprecation degrading affiliate attribution. HeyMax first attracting exactly the wrong customers. Regulatory reclassification. And expansion overreach, 5 markets, 60 people, 18 months. That last one is worth pausing on. It's July 2026. They've promised Japan, Taiwan and Australia by December. There are no hires and no announced partnerships in any of them.